All righty, welcome to the kickoff call. Like I said, I think I realized some of I want to apologize on my end of some of my language that I was using when I was posting in regards to like the macro video. That was like I misspoke when I was typing that up in regards to really like this is going to be the conversation about what the macros are going to look like, and we'll dive even deeper into that. So I just misspoke on that. And then someone else was asking about like the intake form, and basically the intake form is the registration form. So everybody that is in here should be, oh my goodness, there goes my dog. 1 second. She'll gonna bark at me the whole time. So anyway, I want to apologize on my end for making that potentially confusing. So everybody that is in here and everybody that is registered already, I think we got things rolling yesterday. Or on Friday we noticed kind of some hiccups there, but we are. I think we're rolling. So anyway, one of the things I think that, like I said, I want to this is the most, I think this call will kind of answer probably a lot of questions. And of course, at the end, if you guys have any questions throughout this, you can throw them in the chat or anything like that as we're going through the whole thing. So, anyway, welcome. I think one of the conversations I think a lot of people have been nervous. I don't know if nervous is the right word, or wanting to commit, especially with this, is having this idea that you have to complete everything. You have to have this perfectionism mindset. How many of you feel like, if you want to just raise your hand, I know some of you guys are multitasking. If you're able to, you can even throw it in the group chat or just say me. If you feel like that is somewhat of a concern as you're going through any type of health stuff. You can even just, if you're on video, Deb, you're the only one on video. There we go, Missy. You're good. I like to see everybody else. Thumbs up, yes. That's usually a pretty common, I guess, obstacle kind of going through the things. And if I could reiterate anything when it comes to this idea, yes, attempting to shift that as well, is that there is no such thing as perfectionism. There is no such thing as on. There is no such thing of having to be exact. I think we get really stuck in this mindset. And I think it's practice in our minds, right? Of progress, not perfection, because that's the most important part through this whole process. Is remember the goal is to match what fits for you. And so this is why my objective with these phone calls, and of course you guys will have access, any questions along the way, is say, hey, Casey, this is hard. I don't know how to do this. I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z. Make sure you point those things out, because like I said, the most important part is to match it to where you are currently at. Everybody is at a different life place in their life. Everybody has different schedules. Everybody has different stress levels. Everybody has just different lives. And the goal as you go through this whole thing is to take the things and piece them into your life. That is the most important part. And as long as you're doing something, more so than anything, then you're going to see much more success in that regards. So what I want to do, since it is a really small group here tonight, I want you to throw in the chat just to say, I want you to throw where you're from, because we do actually have people kind of from a little bit all over. And then one thing you hope to achieve from the challenge. Let's throw that here in the chat. And as you guys are doing that, I'm going to let my dog in. And out, and out. See. Come on, messages. Where are they going? There you go. Tara from Dubuque, Iowa, moving from the all or nothing mindset. I was doing well with it and then went to nothing for a bit. That's all right. That's why you're here, Tara. I love it. Kara, you're from Dubuque, Iowa as well, and then working just to redevelop healthy habits, which is fantastic. I love this. These are good ones. Can you guys access the chat? Here we go. Minnesota, looking to achieve consistency with eating better. Perfect. See, all of us are working on the same things. Let's see if anyone throws them in there. Maybe. Oh, well, no. Okay. Sometimes chats always get slightly delayed, which is okay. Let's see where she is at. Boom. Liz from Urbandale, Iowa. I was doing well this fall. I've lost motivation as life gotten busy during the spring, trying to restart with added accountability. I love that. Sarah, Dubuque as well. I live in Dubuque, Iowa. That's why there's a lot of Dubuques. Dubuques. Looking to shift from overdoing my workouts and eating better habits. Fantastic. These are great. Yes, as you guys are keep typing, throw those in there. I'll kind of go in there, but yes, like I said, so obviously for the most part, it's a very similar concept that you get the accountability or being able to stay consistent is going to be the most important part. And this is where the food tracking part does come into play because it helps you start to create awareness. It helps you start to be like awareness is the biggest part, learning what to eat, how to eat it. And that not how to eat it, it's of course how to eat. You guys all know how to eat. But this will start to help you navigate food choices. And when you have the power to understand what you're eating, why you're eating it, is it enjoyment? Is it just for pure just hunger? Is it for fueling? Is it for whatever that is? As you start to go through those things, this is where food tracking becomes a very, very powerful tool. And my objective is to help you kind of scratch the mindset that sometimes food tracking does get like a diet mentality. And I think that's from previous years. People have utilized food tracking as a very diet mentality. And my goal is to help shift that thought process of a tool and a device so that you know where you're going. I think that we get caught up sometimes in some things. So the next 21 days, obviously it's going to be 21 days. Tomorrow's the official like launch of the first day. So a lot of you guys have started to do some pre-tracking. I am going to tonight go through everybody's those that have pre-tracked. I'm going to start working on prescribing some macros already and calorie goals. If you have not pre-tracked, do not fret. It was not a requirement to do it ahead of time. Just some people got on were able to beforehand, which is great. Does not put you behind at all. So what I'm going to be doing is verifying to see where, like I said, I needed to see what you were currently eating. So if you have tracked or have not tracked, I want to make sure to see where your current starting point is. So don't change what you're eating, track what you traditionally eat, try to be as close as you can. This way I can come up with a prescription for you of goals to work for. And very, very simply, there's going to be a calorie goal and a protein goal. And then depending on the person, we might dive into some fiber things as well. But to keep it very simple, like I said, I like to keep things simple. If we work on overall calories and work on protein alone, these two things will start to shift you in the right direction. And so every week, what I'm going to be doing is on Sunday is I will be reevaluating your macros and when I say macros, your calories and your protein. Of course, I'm going to see carbs and fats in there. And I'll talk briefly here why I'm not paying attention to carbs and fats. But each week I will make sure to adjust if you need to work on maintaining. Maybe you weren't able to achieve the goals this first week. Do you need to up something up? Are you just struggling somewhere? And this is the whole point of these phone calls and these calls is to, hey, ask these questions. What support can I help you with specifically with where you're struggling with in order to get these things? And most likely, a lot of the things that you might be struggling with, there might be 5 people with the same issues, right? So do not be afraid to ask these questions along the way. So that's where your calories, your macro prescription will be coming into play. So like I said, if you've already pre-tracked a week, ideally I love like 4 to 6 days is fantastic. I love a weekend thrown in there. A lot of us like to skip the weekends, pretend they don't happen, but unfortunately we do eat on the weekends too. And the reason why weekends have become really important is because guess what? We eat non-traditionally over the weekends, right? We might eat out more. We might, have a little bit more, whatever, untraditional schedule on the weekends, correct? And so this is where some people's weekends might overconsume calories on the weekends, and that can change your goals. Everything is off averages, guys. This is very mathematical. It's very approach, but I'm going to be doing on the math. You do not need to do any math, so do not worry about that. So that is really what the objective, or not the objective, that's really where your prescriptions are going to be coming up. I don't even like the word prescriptions, your goals. It's like really prescriptions sounds too medically. Um, and so of course, I don't think anybody's on here, but anybody that has done the free version, I'm not going to be doing, individual macros. You guys are, of course, are welcome to, track and do things on your own, but a lot of your stuff is going to be taking place just through the Facebook group, and any questions, just reach out to me through Facebook. But I think everybody in here actually is in the VIP. Along with your calories, sorry if I'm hitting my microphone, you are also going to be getting daily mini challenges. Now, you are welcome to incorporate them. The objective of these are just to start building habits, what some of you had said in the chat of what you're trying to work on. Because yes, it's not just about food, right? And there's also lots of different pieces that come to food. It's not just consuming calories. It's literally not just straight about protein all the time. There are other aspects that go in there, like hydration. Even eating slowly is a thing. Does anybody? This is actually one of my issues. I have to watch is I eat really fast. I like food. I consume a lot of food, and I can eat really speedy. And working on slowing down. That's literally chewing and enjoying your food and putting your fork down in between. That is a real thing. That's just something I'm still working with, as well. Maybe you don't do it all the time, right? But those are some of just kind of an idea of some of the daily habits that are going to be posted. Now those daily little mini challenges are going to be posted into the Facebook group. So a lot of this, yes, you're going to be into the app really is for your tracking and workout optional. We'll kind of go through that here in a second. And then the Facebook group is the daily mini challenges. That's really your 3 locations. And then, like I said, and then you obviously have MyFitnessPal for the tracking aspect. I think. So the most important part, like I said, matching to where you're at is, say you're somebody that is working on just tracking alone. Say you haven't started food tracking. Maybe you start food tracking this week. Let's just start there. And then I start throwing off these daily challenges. And you're like, oh my gosh, Casey, tracking is really overwhelming. These daily challenges are overwhelming. Like I can't do all the things. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Maybe it's not overwhelming. Maybe it's just like, oh, like Casey, it's fine. Like I'm fine with tracking and I'm fine with doing the challenges. This is going back to the on off is pick and choose. If it seems too overwhelming, I want you to pick one to start with. Maybe now you will get better, with I will encourage you to do the tracking first over the challenges. But if there's a scenario where the challenges are simpler, because they are very simple, I think one of them is like drink whatever 12 ounces of water in the morning, something like that. That's how simple it is. Super simple, right? I forgot what they were already, but that then pick that for the day and skip food tracking. Or the next day, you're like, I can food track and do the challenge. This feels good. I've got lots of energy today. Slept great. I'm going to do both. Maybe I'm going to do both and maybe the one from yesterday that I missed, right? This is how you start creating and building habits, is ebbing and flowing with how you feel. And the most important part is with how you feel, because unfortunately our emotions like to take over. I was going to throw out the word motivation because I actually saw a really good post today about motivation. Motivation is actually a feeling, right? When we feel motivated, it's a feeling. And unfortunately, you can't rely on feelings. Feelings come and go all the time. All the feelings, right? Happy, sad, mad, those all come and go all the time, right? Too. Same thing with motivation, comes and goes. And so the thing as you start to progress with these is you can't rely on motivation. If you notice, I use a lot of quotations and it's just habit. There's no such thing. This is real. Is not always having to rely on motivation, but using this is but creating promises to keep to yourself, and that will help create more consistency. So this is the ebb and flow. Like I said, the one day maybe you can track and do a challenge. Maybe one day you just do a challenge. Maybe one day you actually don't do any of the challenges. You do something else that you want, right? That is fine too, as long as you are doing something for your health. I think that is the most important part of the whole process, is doing something. It doesn't have to be all, it's doing something. Remember, motivation is a feeling, not an action. That's the crappy part why we can't count on that. Any questions so far on anything I've talked about? So yeah. You can come off camera. At some point, I'm going to make you guys show your face. I like to, we should have all you guys show your faces that are at least on here so we can say hello so you guys can see who's in the group. Tara's got a question. Go for
I
it, Tara.
do. Hey, okay, so in the Trainerize app, it looks like you can track your food too. Do you recommend using MyFitnessPal for it, or I've never tried the Trainerize with tracking?
It does have it. Let's just keep with MyFitnessPal just to keep everything across the board. Simple.
Okay.
Keep it
Yeah.
simple. Yeah. And the only reason why I like MyFitnessPal a little bit better is because it just has more options. Some people don't like MyFitnessPal because the free version actually got rid of the scanning thing. And I have been using MyFitnessPal for myself and a lot of my clients for years. And you just get used to like, because you get used to typing in the stuff. There's a way to save things like that. In that regards. But great question, Tara. All right, I will keep going. Um, so one of the things you also are going to be getting, everybody that's part of the VIP, is you will be getting these, you're going to get messages in the Trainerize app of the daily challenges. So not only is the daily challenges going to you're going to send a message to you directly, it will also be posted in the Facebook group. So you're going to kind of get hit with the same thing. You guys will also, I have some resources that are sprinkled in throughout the challenge as well. So I've got different guides from grocery guides, protein guides to fiber guides to all different sorts of different guides to help you as you guys are progressing things, right? Remember, the ultimate goal is to kind of really start shifting how you eat with some of just general calorie check in to see what you're doing with calories, check in to see how you're doing with protein. That's how simple we're keeping this. The other stuff is just additional resources. I'm a person, some people love all the things. I'm actually a person that I get overwhelmed with lots of resources. So sometimes, and that is fine. Remember, you have to match where you're at. So sometimes when I have a program such as this that will give me tons of resources, I just hone into the two things that the coach kind of says that's most important. So in this full challenge, if anything, if those resources are just too overwhelming, you don't want to look at them, that's fine. They're all just little PDFs. Then just focus on calories and protein. That alone will move you in, like move the needle bigger than anything. But you will also be getting those as well. Um, like I said, mentioned before as well, is overall this challenge is really nutrition focused, right? Now, yes, there is workouts, right? There I have included some 30-minute, some like 45 to 60-minute workouts. It just kind of depends on your time frame that you have available. The most important part is or with the workouts, I say one is if you're already doing workouts that you are like, if you have a different program doing other things, go for it. Stick with those programs if that's what you want. This is very heavily nutrition focused, but I wanted to make sure to include the strength training workouts because yes, this is obviously a big part of my training as well is traditional strength training. If you want to do both, you're welcome to. Ideally don't do two in one day. Maybe you want to sample to see what my workouts are like. Go for it. I am telling you, they are the simplest workouts to follow. I've had so many people like because a lot of times online programs are like or online workouts is like a video, right? You press play, just like you're gonna watch YouTube and you press like to watch this workout video. This is not it at all. You literally click a video, it demos the movement. You do one movement at a time, and then guess what? Then you rest one movement at a time and then you rest. It is the simplest thing to follow. Trust me, anybody can do it. And that's the bonus part with it is it allows you to practice, you're not having to follow the whole video. there's not an ongoing video. So you put in your sets, your reps, there's everything that's recommended in there. And to tell if you guys, if you are doing it, I do recommend watching the strength training like video that I talked about of how to challenge yourself with strength training. There's a video in there that talks about that talks about if you have limited equipment, stuff like that. 90% of all my clients actually work out from home. So if you have limited equipment and want to work out from home, I highly encourage it. But of course, if you go to for a gym, then go for it. It just, you obviously have access to more equipment. So very nutrition focused, very, that's one of the things that is, I think, the whole emphasis of this. So I also had someone that had like something with surgery. I said, don't worry. This is why we're diving into the nutrition side of things. The workouts is just kind of the side thing. Now, if you want to track your workouts in Trainerize, you can do that as well. So let me pull this up. I'm actually going to show an example here. Let me make sure she's in the right. I'm going to share my screen here. So if you're doing my workouts or if you're doing your own workouts, whatever, Deborah, this is your profile for now. Actually, I need to throw you into the program. Oh yeah, I've got you in here. Just kidding. You're already in here. And the date needs to be for tomorrow. It's the official start date. So this is what the workouts will look like if you were in the app. Now I've incorporated warm-ups, things like that. Now with the exercises themselves, you only pick one per day. So you do 1, 2, and 3. Ideally, you want to pick minimum of 2 of the workouts. Like I said, these warm-ups are very optional. And then I've got to see, there are 30 minutes. I don't know if these didn't load. Man, what is it? Anyway, there are 30-minute workouts as well. I don't know why these did not upload. I thought these all loaded. I will up those as well. Anyway, so you're going to see a day 1, day 2, day 3, 30-minute, a day 1, day 2, day 3, 45 to 60-minute. Pick one. I think somebody else asked me. I think it was you, Kelly. You're like, I can't do all these workouts. Absolutely not. Obviously, the idea of the rotation is you do day 1 on one day and day 2, whatever, on Wednesday. And then the next week, guess what? Repeat that exact same workout. You're going to do this for the 3 weeks. You repeat these workouts. So day 1, repeat that 3 times through this program. Day 2, repeat that 3 times. And if you choose to do a day 3, repeat that 3 times. These warm-ups are optional that are included in these as well. So this is what the workouts look like. Like I said, very, very simple. And then if you want to add your own, of course, most of you are utilizing an app, but you can like click on a day, tap workout, and then you have the option to pick like what type of workout that you did. Like you could pick, here you go, Australian football. I don't know. I'm kidding. There's lots of different options. If you're in some type of like group exercise class, you could do something that's kind of like CrossFit. If you're doing obviously running, there's lots of, if you want to just pick something really random, look at, there's lots of different varieties in here. But this gives you a list of different exercises. So if you want to log these in here, I will be able to see like, oh, like whatever, Kara did, whatever, rowing for today or something like that, right? She decided to do cycling class, whatever. That's kind of how you get to add your own workouts. And on the app, it's very easy. You literally there's the plus button sign at the bottom. That is where you will incorporate that. Very, very simple for the workouts. Any questions on those? I see a chat. Oh, yes. We do not do them all. So like I said, repeat whatever workout you do this week, then repeat that for the 3 weeks. 3 weeks. They're meant to be simple, and the goal is so you're not dying by any means. Okay. No questions. You guys I'm explaining things so clear. I'm glad. Okay. Next thing is with tracking. I think this is always really important with tracking is you will hear me say this all the time. This also goes with general health is consistency over perfectionism. And this also goes with food tracking. I think sometimes with food tracking, the thought is there has to be like we have to be perfect with food tracking. I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as perfect food tracking. I'm here to tell you that you are going to make mistakes with food tracking. You're going to click the wrong item. You are going to measure the wrong thing. You're going to do all the things that are quote unquote wrong. That is okay. I will tell you this over and again. It is okay. Food tracking is not supposed to be this perfect thing. Guess what? The calories that are labeled on foods are not even perfect. There's room for error on those. Those have like, I forget what the actual like range is, but those aren't perfect. So go into food tracking with flexibility. And I use the word guesstimate a lot. And the reason why guesstimate, and you're like, Casey, well, that doesn't give us accurate information. I'm guessing. Well, guess what? Going back to guess is it's something you have more success tracking something that is guesstimated versus nothing. Because like I said, even if something's a little bit off, it at least starts to bring some awareness. Say you measured wrong or you were off a little bit, right? Like we'll never know the exact quantities. There's no, and everybody's bodies work a little bit different, but at least starting to repeat and learning the process and learning how the app works, there is going to be lots of room for errors and be okay with that. If you're tracking a food dish that is already like meshed together. I love to use like enchiladas, for example, or you're doing like a casserole or something like that. This is why I like MyFitnessPal, Tara's, because MyFitnessPal has a lot of other random things in there. I think I was tracking, what did I eat the other day? I've been food tracking my stuff ever since I've started this, just to get back on the track to be with you guys. So I'm food tracking now as well. I don't forget what it was, but it was like random. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but that's the bonus with looking in MyFitnessPal. You could be like, all right, let's do a tater tot casserole. I don't know, like this is a random thing. Guesstimate the portion size you had, right? Guesstimate. Think, use your palm, right? Your palm's about a cup, right? Utilize that as like as a measuring point. I think I had about a cup and a half. You can even measure it. Put your tater tot casserole into a measuring cup, etc. Right? Guesstimate something. I am telling you, you will see so much more progress, even if it's wrong. For the most part, because there's something that's going to be right. It's just going to start bringing awareness. Chicken enchiladas, look up chicken enchiladas. If you have black beans in it, I even go into depth. I think I did like chicken and I had this orzo like spaghetti thing I had, and I wasn't gonna track the whole thing in the orzo. And so what I did was I literally looked up orzo and ground beef, and it gave me like orzo soup, and I was like, close enough. And that's what I utilized to track. Right. So that's, and usually like I said, if you have black beans in it, throw that in there, etc. So guesstimate is your friend. Oh, we got more people coming in. Hold on. Does not have to be perfect. I will say, raise your hand. Do any of you guys have a food scale? Tara's got a food scale. Anyone else have a food scale in here? Gemma's got one. Great. Kara, Sarah, great. Okay. Rachel, awesome, awesome, awesome. So food scales are more accurate than measuring cups because it goes off of weight. Everything's off weight and volume, which is great. Most of them, I think I was at my sister's. She's like, "Oh, this doesn't measure. It doesn't measure whatever." I think it was some fluid thing. And I was like, oh, yes, it does. Most food scales have different measuring options. I love to do everything in grams. Grams to me is like the easiest thing to utilize. I should actually demo a very quick measuring or I'm going to demo this in my kitchen. So, but the thing I'm going to add is if you do not have a food scale, that is okay. Guesstimate and use measuring spoons, measuring cups. That is a place to start. We just are starting somewhere. This is what I'm going to show you. I'll pull my screen off blurry. Here for a second so you can see what I'm doing. This is a really easy way to, that you can see all my messy kitchen. Okay. I'm gonna pull this down for a second. So say you were measuring the infamous peanut butter, right? A lot of people, I love peanut butter. Okay, great. I'm gonna push my camera down so you can see this. Okay, so when you are measuring a very simple, like I said, I'll always turn mine on. It has all these little numbers, right? I place the object, say I'm gonna put peanut butter on toast, for example, right? Then I'm going to clear it to 0. You could also do this as plates. As you're building plates, you could do stuff like this too. But this is really easy to figure out peanut butter because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm using 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. So the numbers are obviously 0 in here. Wait, I said just now I took the lid off so you reach it. So take the lid off first. And then I'm gonna take, if I'm gonna obviously put peanut butter onto something, mine says negative 13. So that means I've used 13 grams of peanut butter onto my thing. So you don't have to mess with literally measuring it into a tablespoon. This is a very simple way to do any type of liquids. You could do this with like, if you're say you've got like cottage cheese or yogurt that's in bigger containers, you don't want to sit there and measure individual things out. This is a very simple way how to start measuring food. Like I said, food scales are 10 times easier. I'll be honest, when I first started food tracking, to put that back in there. When I first started food tracking, I used to do lots of cups and measuring all that way. And ever since I got a food scale, it's a lot faster. One last little trick with food tracking. I said I thought of this last second, but I think it's good to know. Is go back down here. Awesome. So say you're building your dish. So tonight I actually I had rice, ground turkey, and some vegetables. It was a pretty easy dish. So this is how I food tracked it. I literally started with an empty bowl. I cleared it out. I filled up my rice at the bottom of the bowl, logged it. Then I guess what? Then I cleared again. Then I put the turkey in, logged it, cleared it out again. And then I put my veggies in, cleared it, logged it. And then my sauce was last, logged it. That took me like 2 minutes. 2 minutes to do all that. So this is also how you can log things that are in as you're building. You can build your own dish together. Is just keep the bowl or the plate on there and build it, clear it, build it, clear it. Very simple. So that's my food tracking tips with all that stuff. But yes, it does make it easier. But like I said, at the end of the day, if you do not, I have clients that don't own one yet. That's okay. You, yes, of course, can go to Amazon. Grocery stores have them because, of course, it's a cooking tool, right? If you're a really big baker, those are in there as well. Any questions with food tracking? Feel like we're doing okay with it? Just got one. Great. Awesome. So, as always, throughout the challenge, if I cannot emphasize, if you have questions, I think it's important to share things. Like I talked about at the beginning, was if you have a question, most likely other people have questions. Sometimes I'm going to encourage you to ask these questions into the Facebook group. This is where like the community aspect will all take place, is because if you have a question, other people probably are having the same issues. If you want to share something, there's also, I think, a recipe or something that I'm gonna have you share one day, stuff like that. Those are always the fun ones. Everybody loves to kind of swap recipes. But like I said, utilize me, utilize each other, utilize the support to help you anytime you feel stuck. And at the end of the day, like I said, if you start to feel really overwhelmed, like I said, I'm a person that can get very overwhelmed with information overload. Pull back, do something that's very simple. And then also the other thing you can easily do is reach out to me and be like, Casey, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not sure what to do today. Right. And if I see that you're starting to like, if you're not tracking, or if I see that you're not doing things, or I would say a tracking or whatnot, I'm definitely going to reach out to you and be like, hey, everything okay? You doing okay? Make sure you have your messages turned on, because in the Trainerize app, because I will be messaging you individually if I don't see, if you're kind of going MIA on me. So trust me, I understand. One thing. Oh, my scale. I'll come back to that, Tara. One thing is I also want to make sure you'll be hearing, I actually do have an assistant coach that's with me as well. Her name is Danielle. She's going to be doing basically just the post in the Facebook group. So you'll see the name Danielle Pickard is my assistant coach. She has actually been working with me for the last couple months. She just helps me with a lot of back end work. So she helped kind of upload a lot of the stuff for the challenges. So if you see Danielle's name, do not fret. Danielle is just helping me post things, but I will be the one responding to a lot of it and stuff like that. So Danielle is also an online coach as well. She's actually from California and has been coaching online for a while, but she's been helping me with a lot of my stuff. So Danielle, I actually asked her if she wanted to join the call tonight as well, but she basically. She's like, Casey, I've been swamped. And so she just got a new job as well. And so she's been very busy. So she's like, I need a day off. So if you see Danielle around, this is who Danielle is, Danielle Pickard. Do not get nervous. Some of you guys that have worked with me before have seen her a little bit bop in and out. So that's kind of really who it is. So just, think of her as basically just another assistant and stuff like that going around. So, Tara said, my scale. Okay. My scale, I think I got it from Target years ago. The only downfall, I'm not gonna lie, with this food scale, I thought about getting a new one. I liked it just because the way it looked was it doesn't. Oh, it's on Amazon. It's gone up in price. This is a $36 food scale. Like I said, I bought this probably like 5-ish years ago. I'll still throw it in here. The only reason why I don't like, or the only thing I don't like about this food scale is I don't feel like it holds a battery very long. Like the battery life feels very short. And when I say short, it probably only lasts, I mean, it does last maybe a month. That's the one downfall with this food scale. I've asked other people about their food scales and they said they haven't had them that last that long. So I'll still
Ours
share
is
it.
like a
Huh?
dinosaur and it lasts a really long time. It just doesn't go negative. So if anybody else has one that does go negative,
Oh, I
yeah.
see. I'll share it.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
like I said, it works great minus the battery life. I have no
Yeah.
idea why the battery life is so short. I think when I like consistently was really food, which I am right now. Um, but the battery, I took a pause from it. So I literally just I had to put new batteries in today. I will let you know by the end of the challenge if I had to put new batteries in again. But there it is. Yes, Trainer Eyes. Trainer Eyes, it also is Simply Strong. The Trainer Eyes is the app that I purchased to host my business, these workouts and all this stuff through. It's also through Simply Strong. So, Deb, because you just joined today, I just sent you a setup link. So that should be in your email as well. We'll cruise in here. We're kind of wrapping up here. So throw questions in here as we're going. Um, let's see what else. Trying to make sure I'm covering everything else. Last but not least, I'm going to plug this as well of what to expect through this whole thing. So let me share this screen. And I'm going to put this into all of your guys' messages so you guys have this as well. So this is general what to expect during this whole program, right? Let's maybe make this into a bigger, not share. Yeah, go bigger, go bigger. Mm. Never mind. Okay, I can't zoom in right now. Is really just kind of everything I'm talking about, right? So weekly support calls, you have your Zoom link here. It's going to be the same link every week. You will get reminders every Sunday of this as well. Daily mini challenges, the same thing I just talked about. This is literally just everything I just talked about. Strength training, food tracking, tips for tracking. Make sure to sync MyFitnessPal with the Trainer Eyes. Here's how you do this. The thing that I also think is also important is to track progress, right? So I know a lot of us don't like to take photos. The giant but that I like to throw in here is it's another form of measurement, right? So whether it's weigh-ins and photos, I think these two things give us very good information of what's going on because sometimes guess what, some people don't necessarily, this is why I talk about the word inches, is sometimes people actually start to change the shape of the body versus the scale. And so this is where it's really important to implement some of these other forms of progress check-ins, not just the scale, due to see kind of how things are going. So I highly, highly encourage you all to make sure to get a before like photos in, if at least by the end of this week, just to get a check-in. Trust me, I will never ever share these. Obviously, half the time I blur people's faces out, even when they tell me they don't care, I could show their face. I will never share these unless you don't feel comfortable. I'm the only one that will see these. Even my assistant coach, Danielle, she does not see these as well. This is just me that is going to be seeing these. So, the other thing that I like to throw in about daily weigh-ins is why these can be an important and useful tool is the fact, I think that's really important with weigh-ins, is think of your scale as a bank account, right? Every day things are shifting. Sometimes we spend money, sometimes we don't spend money. Same thing with your health. Things are constantly fluctuating. And the thing that fluctuates the most, guess what, is actually water weight. That is the thing that fluctuates the most on the scale. And so if I can't emphasize anything, so like sometimes people will have like, if you did a weigh at the beginning of the challenge, at the end of the challenge, this huge like build up to like, what did I lose weight by the end of the challenge? And then sometimes you may have not. But guess what? You may have, but you hadn't weighed in enough throughout the challenge. So then it ended up looking like that maybe you didn't, but it just happened to be an influx that the weight went up, right? And so this is where daily weight, and if you don't want to do daily, you could do every other day. These are really important, just progress marks to check. I know we put a lot of emphasis on the scale. It's just a tool, right? It is just another tool in the toolbox to figure out what is going on into the body. This is also why I like daily weigh-ins, is because you get to see like, hey, Did you sleep like crap last night? Guess what? The scale most likely is going to go up or stay the same. Oh, by the way, did you eat really late last night? These are quick ones. I will remind you guys of these. Why the scale doesn't always move. From sleeping, not sleeping well to eating late to eating, guess what? A lot of like sometimes when you start eating more protein, sometimes when you start eating more fiber, the scale goes up. Oh, do you not have really good digestion? Is digestion off? That causes the scale to go up. To hormones, of course, fluctuations can get in there. To stress levels. If you had a really high intense workout, to did you have a really big dinner before you went to the list kind of goes on and on. If you're noticing, the list of why the scale fluctuates and why it can go up is bigger than most, like I said, it's all of that has to do with water weight and how the cells are processing it more so than actual like body fat. You're not gaining body fat by any means. Anyway, that's my big spiel on daily weigh-in. That's why I find them very important. So if you can also incorporate these two are great signs of progress. Any questions on that? Oh, $10. Thanks, Sarah. Good. The $10, I go for the 10. Maybe I should buy that one. Like I said, mine dies. Like I said, if I've got questions, message me directly through the Simply Strong app, Facebook group. No questions is too small through this whole thing. So I am you guys will also get this packet as well as you guys are going through everything. See, I love this sport. This is why I love group programs because, measurements. Great question, Kara. As much as I love measurements, I'm not going to lie. I've actually really gotten away from measurements. And the reason why is if you move, I think I talked to somebody else. I think it was actually you, Sarah. Not maybe at one point when we chatted. If you move the, oh my gosh, tape measure, that's the word. If you move the tape measure, like literally a centimeter up or a little bit down, then the measurements like get shifted, right? And so I've even questioned myself with measurements. I've quit taking measurements of clients because I wasn't as many times as I measure people, everybody obviously has different shapes and et cetera, and body, whatever. And so I started to question on my own. So I quit doing body measurements on my clients. So this is where photos are fantastic. This is where, of course, like I said, the scale is just that one's an easy one because you just hop on a scale. Some people also have scales that also weigh other things, like there's body fat percentage, stuff like that. If you have a home scale with that, you are fine. You could utilize that. That's information. Sometimes the cheap ones, I do question them. I actually have like a $20 scale I got on Amazon that gives me like an array of like from body fat to body water to visceral fat to all these things. But I really question it because it is $20. But I mean, it's information. Doesn't hurt, right? This is just information. So that is my food for thought with body measurements. If you feel confident, feel great with them, go for it. I do not utilize them because this is where pictures become easier because you can literally see, what your body is starting to shift versus like if you literally move the measurement, like literally centimeters will change it to bigger, smaller. It's the only crappy part. Pants are a big one. So if you wear a lot of leggings, your clothes, I should say, of course, can be also forms of measurement of success as well. If clothes start to shift, if they feel better, anything feels looser, those are great forms of measurements. Those are big ones that also help. So photos, scale, and clothes, I would the top three because they're definitely much more like you can see them, visualize it, you can see the difference of what's going on. Great question. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. Of course, I said I was going to try to keep this a half hour, but of course not. Why would I say that? We're almost, all right. Let's see what else. Kelly, started you to ask how it takes photos of you, measure it, helps. Great. I love that. If you guys have suggestions for other I've actually never heard of this. Me 360. There are so many apps. There's so many resources. There's so many scales. There's so many resources out there, which is great. If you guys have stuff, share them. This is a great place to do this. Like I said, All the group conversations will take place in the Facebook group. So if you can also post in the Facebook group, whatever you want to do, share your wins. If you have a win, share it. I am tell you, and if your win is as something small as Casey, I drink a cup of water more so than I've ever had, and whatever, I'm drinking more water than I ever have, whatever, share it. Those small wins are so big. I know we get so caught up in the idea that we want to like lose weight, of course, weight loss is a big part of it. We want to feel better. We want to see those inches come off. But I'm telling you, those small habits will build into the weight loss that you're looking for. And the more and more that you can just chip away at these things, the more success you're going to have. I'm telling you, like, we want like a genie in a bottle where we blink our eyes and we like lose it. We get where we want to be immediately. And it always takes longer than what we think. That's the thing. You could take away anything, it takes longer than we think. So do not get discouraged, but just keep going. Because the other option, guess what? Is if you stop, then what? You're just back to where you're currently at. And so keep moving on whatever momentum that you have, whether it's the tracking, whether it's the daily habits, whether it's both. That is probably the biggest advice I could give you out of this is keep going of something small. If you can take on a load, go for it, do a lot more, etc. Any other questions? I'm excited. We're going to roll. So, like I said, I will push and promote. It's not perfectionism. It's just doing what you can. If you get stuck, message me. Tell me you're stuck. Trust me, I am here to guide you. That is the whole purpose of me. Utilize me. There's no dumb question. There is no silly question. There's no dumb do not feel afraid to reach out to me. Or if you're like, hey, Casey, or not even, hey, Casey, if you don't feel like you're doing things right, like reach out. I am here to walk you through the things so it matches what feels good for you. That is the most important part. Ask away. Do not be, you were not bothering me. That's another one. Some people are like, I don't want to bother you. I know you trust me. This is why I'm here. This is what I do. I love what I do. I love walking people through and helping people do this. Trust me, you're not bothering me in any sorts of any ways. This is my job and I love it. So, so start tracking this week if you have not. Those that joined today, I know Deb, you're the one that just hopped on today, which is okay. There's another lady that just joined as well. If you have any issues with getting those synced up, let me let me know. I'm just gonna throw this in the chat right now so you guys have this. Then also you guys will get this as well, just that what to expect, because this talks about how to sync that stuff up. Did anyone have any issues with that at all? Let me see. Nope. We're great. We're grand. Everyone's got it. So I just posted in there just the what to expect guide. I'm also, you guys will get this in your inbox as well. So don't fret but you're welcome to save it. You can do whatever you want with this as well. No questions? Clean as can be? Clear as can be?
Casey, are we doing Sunday at 7 every week?
Yes. Oh, thank you. The one exception is Mother's Day.
Oh, good call.
So Mother's Day is obviously on May 11th. We will not skip. I'm actually going to shift that day. I was going to do a quick poll to see which day works better because I would actually traditionally move it to a Monday, but I kind of have an ongoing Monday call on Monday nights. So I will put up a poll just to see which time, if we can do if we want to do an earlier Monday call or a Tuesday late call, we can do that as well. But no call on the 11th. And then we will also have, because it goes 1, 2, 3, and then the final call will end on May 18th. So, so technically we have 4 calls, but so no call on Mother's Day. Great questions. Anything else? And of course, if not now, you know how to find me. All righty. Well, let's roll. We ready? We're doing it. All right. I will see you guys all officially next week on Sunday, but of course I will see you around. But food tracking is your number one thing and we'll get rolling. All right. Of course. Thank you everybody. And we will be in touch. Happy Sunday. See ya.
Bye.
Casey.
Stop recording.